Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey. Hey, Lynn Stewart, how are you, my dear? It's good to see you on. All right, let's see who else do we have here. All right, so trying to get my bearings here. So good to see everybody. All right. As you come on, just tell me who you are and where you're coming, where you sign in from. I see Lynn from Houston, Texas. All right. Wendy. Hi, Wendy from Atlanta, Georgia. All right. All right, let's see who else we have. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. Hi, Allie E. from Queens, New York. Allie from Queens, New York. And we have Shayla. So I'm back. It's Shayla. All right. Very cool. All right. Okay. As I said earlier, we're gonna be dealing with some questions that we get occasionally. Some questions that I've received from different people. We're gonna be answering some of them tonight, but also I want to answer your questions. So please feel free to chime in. Let me know questions that you have, or as we move along, if you have questions, if you want to join in, if you want to just move the conversation along, let's do it. Let's talk. Let's get right into this. I missed you guys. I've been gone for a whole week, okay? Because as I mentioned last week, we're meeting on Tuesdays now, every Tuesday. So please come out on Tuesday evening. And what we're going to do is we're going to just hit it hard on Tuesday, because on Thursday nights we'll go a little long on tonight because we haven't gone on Thursdays. I'm reserving that time for podcasting, which we're starting to work on. All right. So let's move forward. And would be great if lives can be saved. That's a great question, Ali E. Lives are saved. If you're in the app, go in our resources page in the app, and you'll see where all the previous lives have been saved. If you have any questions, just ask the question on the front page of the app, and I will actually give you those instructions, okay? But you can find the lives in the app. You can find them. We have cataloged those, and you can watch them on demand also, okay? All right. We have a couple questions. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, Wendy asks, what are the top 3 things men look for in women? Hey, what's up, Jeffrey? Thank you for joining us. Ali E. All right. What are the top 3 things that men look for in a woman? Or even to add that, if you are married and in a happy relationship, what are the top 3 things that you appreciate or that you would like to see more of in your spouse? So let's talk about that. The top 3, and this comes from a conversation that we had with some couples. The top 3 things. And if I were to say, I want to do a little something here. I'm going to ask you women, okay? Everybody answer this. Wendy, not you, but everybody else answer. What do you feel? What do you think are the top 3 qualities or the top 3 attributes that men look for in women? What do you feel they are? Okay? What do you feel are the top 3 attributes or qualities that men look for in women? If you're single, great. Let me know what you think they are. If you're If you're married, then what are the three qualities that mean the most to you? Hopefully your spouse does have them, or your significant other does. But if not, then just be quiet. But if they do, if they do, then go ahead and say it. But what do you think are the top three qualities, okay, that men look for in a woman? We quite often will talk about what women look for in men, and we can touch on that as well. But I want to talk about what are some of the qualities that women look for, that men look for in women. So I'm waiting for your answers here. Shout out. Let me know what you think. Because I think quite often when we're dating, we have all these lists of things that we're expecting. And even when we're married, we have all these lists of things that we're expecting out of our spouse. But the fact of the matter is, everyone is so different. Everyone is so different. And Wendy, you just hit me with the questions here. Just let me answer one before you give me the next one. Jeffrey says, God-fearing, a good listener, and a good communicator. Interesting. God-fearing, a good listener, and a good communicator, meaning she's able to hear information and hear it patiently and lovingly, and she's able to communicate that information or communicate her own information in a kind and gentle manner. I'm adding on for you, Jeff, so just roll with me. But God-fearing, a good listener, and a good communicator. I would dare say that those are incredibly important, because all of whatever you choose, whatever you guys say as you're thinking of more, these are all based on your personal values. These are all based on your values. What are your values and what do you feel? Because if I were to ask women the same question, and I am right now, so none of y'all have answered yet, but asking women that question, I'm curious as to what you think, because I would guarantee you that men think just a little bit differently than you. Men think a little bit differently than you. Now, I asked Wendy not to answer. Okay, but let's go on. MAFP usable. Use an understandable heart. Be specific with your requests, because men can't read your mind. No nagging. Kevin and Patty. Okay, an understanding heart. To be specific with your requests, because men can't read your mind, and no nagging. Jesus. That nagging thing is big. Okay? But I want to deal with it, because I think that quite often, whenever women think about what men look for, generally, they go to the physical. They believe that men are looking for those things that are physical. Those things are men looking for somebody with a real good BBL, or men are looking for somebody with with a big butt or a beautiful face or whatever, or a big paycheck. Men really are not looking for that stuff as an initial thing for what they really want in a relationship. Now, those things they're nice to have, I guess, or it's, a novelty to see somebody, with a big old badunk and whatever. But is that something that we actually look for? No, it is not. And I think that some of the answers here are pointing that out. Understanding, respect, and a go-getter. Now, I'm going to go back to Jeffrey here. He says someone who's a good listener and a great communicator, and someone who's God-fearing. I think that people really underestimate the fact that men actually want women who listen and who communicate effectively and passionately and kindly. Kevin and Patty touched on that when you said an understandable heart. That means someone who can receive information in an understanding way, and someone who can communicate well, be specific with your request, because men cannot read your minds. And thirdly, no nagging. What is nagging, though? What is nagging? And why is it so offensive to men? I'll give you my answer. I believe it's because we don't want to marry our mothers. We don't want people telling us what to do. And I think sometimes with nagging comes this air of disrespect. It's like, you can't trust me to just do what I'm supposed to do. There's this air of Why you gotta tell me everything? And if I don't do it in your timetable or do it in the time that you specify, then why am I wrong? Why can't I have the intelligence and the latitude to do things in the way that I feel are best? And quite often we have this understanding that if you don't do things the way I want them to do them done, then they're being done wrong. And that's a misnomer, and that's kind of what nagging is. Okay? So you're right, Shayla. Understanding, respect. Now, the whole go-getter thing, let me share this with you. Being a go-getter is great. I think it's awesome, right? Men, chime in and help me. It's not something that we look for. We want to know that you're able to take care of yourself. We want to know that if anything happens to us, you can step in and do it. But do we really care if you're a boss? Do we really care if you're on the top of your financial game? As long as you're able to make money to support yourself, as long as you're able to make money, to contribute, men are not looking for that necessarily. They're not. Men, correct me if I'm wrong. Say you're wrong, Pastor Cal. Because I have not seen in my experience in talking to all these men, that's what they're looking for. Anthony Davis, a basketball player, just recently, I think he married or he was dating this girl, met her at a bar. She didn't want anything to do with him. But he met her at a bar and she wasn't doing nothing. She wasn't on top of the world. She wasn't a go-getter. She was doing her thing. She was kind. She was respectful. And she had all those feminine qualities. I think men love femininity. And she had all those qualities. He bought her a salon to start her off because he wasn't looking for that. Are y'all hearing me? Okay, good. Thank you, Jeffrey. Absolutely. Okay, Shayla says, I've heard of nagging as busting they balls. Girl, in the Bible, the purported wisest man to ever live was Solomon. And he said this in the Proverbs, I would rather dwell in the corner of a rooftop than in a house with a cantankerous woman. Wow. That's in the Bible, actually. It's in there. He says, I would rather dwell. And I'm sure women, if a man is nagging, if a man is cantankerous, it's the exact. Don't nobody want nagging. It's not cute. It's not attractive. Nobody wants that in their life. Nobody wants that. Okay. That's the golden answer. My mother is gone. I don't need another one. Respectfully. Absolutely. And another thing that along the whole nagging thing, and I caution women all the time, and I hope you guys, I'm sure you guys are a lot more enlightened than this. Never refer to your husband or your man or your significant other as raising another child. It's the most disrespectful thing you can say to a man. Oh, I only got 2 children, and my husband, I got 3. Man will not respond, but he starts building walls. Don't do that. Very, very, very bad. Very poor taste. Okay. Not to sound cynical, but most men don't discover what they want and need until they're over a certain age. I agree with that. It's sad because you can be a woman who listens and communicates well, but I never heard a man say those are qualities he appreciated in someone. Okay, you said, Allie, that it's sad because you can be a woman who listens and communicates well, but I never heard a man say that those are qualities he appreciates in someone. Well, I don't know, Allie. I've heard men say I've heard that there are men who want someone who communicates well and who listens. And I think at the root of that is not necessarily just someone who's eloquent, moreover, somebody who speaks kindly, somebody who is not trying to cut you off at the knees or at the gonads, but someone who listens, because believe it or not, men want someone who can listen. They want a safe place also. And you're absolutely right. I will agree with you 100%, Allie, that sometimes a lot of men don't really have any clue of what they want or need until a certain age. And it's no secret, it's scientifically proven, whatever, that women do mature faster than men. In fact, scientifically, no one's brains fully develop until they're roughly 25 years old. So, but we do understand that women mature quicker. And one reason is because women have these points along their life that indicate that they are becoming women. Men don't have these points along our lives that indicate that we're becoming men. When a woman has her first period, she has a menstruation, all of a sudden a good mom sits her down and says, you're becoming a woman now. There's certain things you expect. There's certain things that are expected of you. You can actually bring forth children now. You got to be careful. She starts taking on responsibility. Men, they just freewheeling it and wilding out until they like 20-something. And all of a sudden they got a job, and that's when they realize, oh, dang, I'm a man. Oh, no, I got married. Yeah, so men are late at the game. We're late to the party. We're tardy to the party. I can't believe I said that. But we're late to the party. And you're right. So sometimes it is later in life that men find out. And I wonder, I know this is me theorizing. I wonder if that's why historically, when you go back into even the turn of the century and back to the 1800s, you found these men who were a little older and women were younger. And just generally, societally, it's almost accepted that the man must be older than the woman. And it has something to do, I believe, with that maturity gap. So you're absolutely right. I wish it was different, but it's just not. Shayla says, I've been told I wasn't a go-getter, and it was a turnoff because he wanted us to come up with a business together, and I was not interested due to wanting to grow my career. Yeah, now he's wrong. I'm sorry. He's just wrong. It doesn't mean you're not a go-getter because you're not going to get what he wants you to go get. Being a go-getter doesn't mean that you're not going. It doesn't mean that you're not a go-getter because you're not going after what he wants. You were going after what you want. So you were a go-getter just doing it on your own. Now, the problem there is that there should have been some way, and this is why I'm a big advocate of counseling. There should have been some way that the two of you could have come together and figured out a way that you could develop something on your own, because I firmly believe that all couples should have some goals that they're achieving together, not independently. You can achieve those, but also there should be some goals that you achieve together, whether it's a business, a project, or something. And for both of you to focus on that is not only building and combining your intellectual capital, but also it's creating a bond between you that is not just emotional. Now it's also corporate, it's collegial, it's a fiscal bond. There's another bond that you're actually creating. So I wish that you guys could have had that counsel to know that it's almost germane to the success of your marriage to do something together. Okay. Yes, sweetheart, you may answer now. I'm asking because I'm a good woman who follows her man's lead. Oh, God, my wife. For the men, do you guys think that older men in the dating world now don't really want women they have to take care of, or do they not mind? Okay. That's a great question. I could answer that, but I'm going to start the answer, and then, gentlemen, you help me. Older men in the dating world, do they now don't really want women they have to take care of, or do they not mind? Okay, when you say women to take care of, are you talking about to be their fiscal sugar daddy? Are you talking about to carry the financial weight of the woman, pay her rent, pay her or mortgage, pay her car note, pay everything for her? As an older man, I'm of course married, but if I were not, I would not be looking for someone that I had to take care of. I would hope that any woman that I would be with, who would be round about my age, that woman would have by now amassed some kind of financial stability, some resources, whereas she can take care of herself. So and men chime in, let me know if you feel the same way. I don't think that men want to take care of anyone, especially in their older life, because it's almost like resetting and starting over. I think at this point in life, when you become older, let's say over 40, these men want someone who can contribute, okay? Where not necessarily contribute everything, but just handle you and I'll handle us. Handle you and I'll handle us, which means, look, ideally, with most men, they don't mind taking care of everything. They do not. They just want to feel like they're respected and appreciated. They don't mind taking care of everything. And I'm glad you asked that question, Wendy, because I see a lot of women online, et cetera, talking about how I want a high value man. I want a high value man, a man who makes 6 figures. He's over 6 feet tall, and you doggone a cashier at Walmart. And yet you're looking for a high value man. Okay? High value men look for high value women, but it's a different way to look at the value. For a high value woman, it's not about money. It's about qualities. It's about kindness. It's about support. It's about respect. It's about peace. Okay? And women, you deserve to have a man who's a supporter and a protector and a provider. You deserve that. Okay? But understand that men are looking for high value as well. Okay? But it's not always a dollar thing. Okay? It's a values thing quite often. Okay? Kim just got, what time is the event this Saturday in Atlanta? I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I called you honey. Forgive me. I do that. Okay. Now everybody gets offended by those little, kind things that you say. But anyway, Kim, it is Kim, right? Kimberly, it's not Saturday. It's June 28th. The date has been changed. So go to MAP. I'll give you that information at the end. But you still have time. Let's just say that. Okay. There is another event in Atlanta, and it's in June. It's the same event, but it's now in June 28th. Okay. Should a man know his purpose if he doesn't? Is it a detriment to a relationship? Absolutely, a man should know his purpose. There's no question a man should know his purpose. It's tantamount to being a man. You must know your purpose. You must know why you're here. And unfortunately, we have not been taught as men by our fathers or by our mothers in a lot of cases how to find out what our purpose in life is. And sometimes it's not a grand thing. It's not some grandiose thing that I'm destined to build a retreat on the moon for people to go after the great Holocaust. No, it's not apocalypse. No, that's not necessarily your I don't know where that came from, but that may not necessarily be your purpose. Your purpose might be just to brighten the corner where you are. Your purpose might be just to be a kind-hearted person, to exist in a place and do the thing that's necessary for the people around you. That may be your purpose, but know what it is. Know what your gifts are. Know what your talents are. Okay? All right. Okay. Older men want maturity. And thank you, Mel, and usually have more traditional values. That is a fact. He wants a wife under one household. Now, if he's into 20 years and if he's into 20 years younger than, yeah. Now, look, there are some men who want women who are young. Now, every man, how can I say this? Brothers, stay with me. Every man is not looking for somebody his age. Okay, some men want the young thing. Some men want arm candy. All right, and sometimes it's because we have not elevated to what's important, which are values. Okay, not that a person in their 20s or 30s and you're in your 50s don't have values, but sometimes you can be blinded by the glitz and the glamour. Okay, Jeffrey, I'm not with you for your money. Come on now. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, dude, women, y'all need to hear this. Jeffrey says, I'm not with you. Men are not. We're not with women for their money. Money is not the thing we look for. Forget money. We can make money. We can find money. We can get money. We're not with women for money. We're with women for peace and support and kindness, respect and love. That's what men want. All right. Wendy says, what's high value for men and women? You have to determine that. You have to determine what's high value. For me, high value for women is a woman who understands her own femininity, a woman who knows how to use it, a woman who understands what respect is, who likes men. Now, understand what I'm saying. She likes who men are. Not that she's around liking men, but some people like men, like misogynists, they don't like women. You want somebody who likes men. right? You want somebody that's a high value woman, a woman who takes care of herself physically, intellectually, spiritually, a woman who wants to support herself. That's high value, but it has nothing to do with men. For a lot of women, a high value man is a man who makes an excess of money, 6 figures and above. Okay, a man who's a certain height, a man who has a certain career, etc., etc. For a lot of women, that's not everybody. A lot of women, that's what high value is. All right, so that's just where we are. Jeffrey said, I'm not with you for your money. I have my own money. I'm with you because of what's in your heart. That's what I'm saying, dude. Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. Many people may not know their purpose, but if they're ambitious and listen to God, they have to know. Do they have to know specifically? Well, okay. Look, your marriage can very easily help you find your purpose. If you're with the right person, it can really take you a long way to helping you find your purpose. If you're with the right person, it can go a long way. I was beating on the desk. My wife walked and said, "What is that?" That was me. It can take you a long way in helping you to find your purpose. So if you don't know it, it doesn't mean that you're not ready for a relationship, but it does mean you need to do some soul searching. It means you might need to get in some counseling, and it might mean that you need to do just some serious introspection. Okay, equal ages, equal stages. Come on now, I like that. I'm going to use that again. Equal ages, equal stages. That's absolutely right. And just to elaborate on that a little bit, if I'm as I am, and way over 50, okay, fine, 60. But if I'm at my age, if I were to get someone, marry somebody who's in her 30s, come on, I got to be at least around. I got to be with somebody who at least knows who Earth, Wind, and Fire is. I got to at least be with someone who remembers Good Times, the TV show. I got to at least be with somebody who knows what a cassette player is, who has heard of a floppy disk. That's just me, all right? Because equal ages, equal stages. That's what I'm saying. Martha K. Are married prospects for women in their 50s? I love this. Saw something very disparaging about that on social media, very disheartening. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Marriage prospects are not over at all for women in their 50s. I don't care what anybody says. It's not. But here's what you got to understand. If you're in your 50s, okay, you have to look at the spectrum of dating here. You have to understand that if you're in your 50s as a woman, first of all, I challenge you women, whether you're married in a relationship or not, and men, take care of yourself, okay? The market is crazy out here. You got to take care of yourself. If you're in your 50s and you're dating, let's just be straight. Can I be honest? Let's just be straight with it. If you're in your 50s and you're dating, okay, look in the mirror and ask yourself the question, would you date you? Okay? I'm sorry, but if you're dating, you got to kind of do what the market says. You got to take care of yourself. But outside of all that, if you're in your 50s, understand that your dating group is going to be 50s, 60s. Okay? Understand that your dating group is going to be 50s and 60s. Or maybe even, 50s, 60s, plural. Don't be 50 looking for someone who's 50. Because a lot of men who are 50, unless you are killing the game at 50, a lot of men who are 50 are looking for women who are in their 40s or in their 30s. It's just the way it is. I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you what they are. So no, are the prospects over? Absolutely not. There are a lot of eligible men out there who still are handsome and spry. Look, I'm 63 years old. And doggone it, I can run, I can do. Look, I'm still out here. I'm acting like I'm 40, right? Because you take care of yourself, you can attract anyone you want across the board. All right. So understand that. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm saying. What about if your spouse loses their financial support? Does that make a man lose interest and want to? Heck no. What kind of man is that? If your spouse loses their financial support, what about if your spouse loses their financial support? Does that make a man? No. If you have lost a job or something, why would a man want to walk away? Again, value for a woman is not built up is not in her finances. So the bottom line is, if you lose your financial support and you're trying to get it back, doggone it, support that man. If you've lost yours, pour into him so that you both can prosper on that end. My wife, who was doing great as a nurse, she could now if she wanted to, she chose to pour into our vision. Now, two brains are making it more successful than just one. So any man who says, oh, you lost your money, I'm out of here, he's an idiot. I'm sorry. And woman the same way. For better or worse. This is Malcolm from Huntsville. What's up, Malcolm? How you doing? All right. Yeah, Wendy, no other way to fire. Okay, now let's turn the tables. Why do men feel intimidated by women that make more money than he does, even if he says, I'm not with you for your money? All right, come on, my man. You asking some questions. Why do men feel intimidated? First of all, Jeffrey, let me challenge you here. Do men feel intimidated by women that make more money? Man, let me tell you something. I would love, and I can't put emphasis on that L enough, I would love my wife to make 7 figures. I ain't got no problem with it. Baby, go make that money. I don't care if my wife makes more money than me. So if you are intimidated by a woman making more money, there are a couple of reasons. Number one, there is some definite security issues you may be having about your own ability to make that kind of money. And unfortunately, in marriages, we often do those comparisons. So if that's the case, okay, that's something that you have to work out. You might need to get some counseling for it. You definitely need to talk about it. Secondly, is she lording it over your head that you make more, that she makes more money than you? Okay, that's another thing. One is your own insecurity. Secondly, is she making you feel insecure? Generally, men I know want their wives to make more money. Okay, so I don't know if men are always intimidated by it, but for those who are, quite often, and I do know because I've counseled people in those situations, quite often it's because he feels unable to meet her. He might feel unworthy or feel maybe even a little emasculated because he's judging himself by how much money he can make. And if you're judging yourself by how much money you can make and your wife is making more money than you, then you're going to feel as though you're not up to snuff. Okay? Do not judge yourself by your wallet. Okay? Judge yourself by your heart. Malcolm. I think this is Malcolm from the Oakwood Workshop. All right. Wendy said, I would love to make 8 figures. Absolutely. All right. Any more questions? We stayed a little longer this evening. Okay, what stood out for me? Oh, wow. We're talking about the Oakwood University workshop we had in Huntsville. Wendy asked Malcolm, who was there, what stood out. And he says, you don't have to feel committed to be committed. Yeah, man. That's absolutely right. That's something that we often teach our couples, that commitment is not, Malcolm and Nicole. Hey, Nicole, that commitment is not about a feeling. Commitment is about an intellectual decision we make to stay into it and ride it till the wheels fall off. It's not about how we feel, okay? And even if we don't feel committed, because you made the decision to be committed, you're going to stay in there. You're going to do what's necessary. That's why we say you don't have to feel committed to be committed. Be committed because you made the decision, not because you feel it. The same thing with love. You don't have to feel love to be in love. Okay? We don't always, Wendy and I, we know we love each other. Do we always feel like it? No. But do we know it? Absolutely. No question. I'll take a bullet in a day, in a heartbeat for her. So, but we understand that. Okay? All right, great. Guys, we're going to bring it to a close. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 7 o'clock on Tuesdays when we do this. 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. Hey, guys. And I'm just so happy that you guys tuned in. Please, if you have any questions, go to the front page of the app. Write your question in if you have questions for next week, or if you like, for instance, someone asked a question about where do we find the on-demand lives. They're in the app. I'll give you instructions in there. Please go complete your profiles in the app. Complete your profiles. Go to the top where your picture is, tap on it, and put a picture in there or put a profile in there or something, and let us know what your name is and where you're from and all this other stuff. All right, well, that's it. We're done. All right, guys, thank you. Look forward to our tour. First stop, second stop. We were in Huntsville last week, a few weeks ago, which was great. But next, we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on June 28th. Keep your eyes open. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that, man. When are you going to do an in-person session? June 28th, right here in Atlanta. Then we're going to be in Houston and Dallas, Texas after that. Look it up. Go to mapsforreal.com, maps, or right where it's on the front page where it says see the tour or visit the tour or relationship tour on the front page. You can go there also, and that'll take you straight to the website where you can get all those dates. All right, mapsforreal.com. Thank you, honey. Appreciate that. All right, great. Go to mapsforreal.com, or when you close out this app, right on the front, it says relationship tour. Just click on that, and it'll take you right there. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next go round. It's going to be crazy when we do this tour. God bless you.